Donald Trump's worst nightmare has arrived on his 80th birthday. MAGA is dead. They're taking those red MAGA hats and they are burning them. 3-time Trump voters are saying, we followed you pretty far 3 times, but we are out. MAGA Republicans, by and large, have a net negative view of Donald Trump relating to signature policies of his, especially foreign policy. So let's just take a look at how even 3-time Trump voters view the least popular president on his 80th birthday. Take a look at this Trump voter. She says that Donald Trump psychologically tortures her, and she is out. Play this clip.
I actually have panic attacks. I've had a couple this past week. And I get very emotional over it. I don't want to work anymore, but I can't afford to retire.
Obviously, President Trump is immensely wealthy, has been wealthy since he was born.
Yeah.
Do you think he understands?
No. No. He hasn't lived it to understand it. He sees it, he has not lived it. He needs to live it. Wear the clothes, wear the shoes, wear your Walmart clothes, wear your Walmart shoes. Do your thrift store shopping. Don't eat steaks. I don't get to go out to dinner. It's not an overnight thing, but it's been 2 years now. You said you'd bring down the grocery prices. Literally, I must be the most angry person when I grocery shop because I buy the same things every week and I see it jump every week. It is not every couple months. It's literally every week.
Take a look at this other 3-time Trump voter who says that he's betrayed by Donald Trump. Let's play this clip right here.
When President Trump said he wasn't going to start foreign wars, when he said he was going to bring down prices, did you believe him?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his first term, I think he held true to everything that he said he was going to do. I think he fought for everything he said he was going to fight for. This time around, I haven't seen it. He's backtracked on every single pitch point he had during his election. He's backtracking on. All we heard was drill, drill, drill during the election, and now all we're getting is drilled into the dirt with these prices. So I'm not a fan of him. I voted for Trump all 3 terms. To be honest with you, I'm not a big supporter of him at this point.
If you could talk directly to President Trump, what would you tell him right now?
Get it together, man. The average American is struggling to make ends meet right now. And nobody wants to hear the war's almost over. Nobody wants to hear it's going to get better. You've had a year to make it better at this point. Make it better.
More 3-time Trump voters are saying that they are out. Take a look at this Trump voter who says, I can't believe that he's this arrogant. You can't believe it? Believe it. He's been a fraudster, a con artist his entire damn life. Here, play this clip.
I can't believe he's just being as arrogant as he is and not working on solving the issue. The issue is war. We're not supposed to be in wars. He promised us no new wars, bottom line. Here we are.
Oh, it stings. Just like everything. I mean, prices of everything going up. It affects everything. You know, the truckers taking everything and groceries go up. Everything goes up.
Another 3-time Trump voter calling him a worthless pile of shit.
If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You're a worthless pile of shit.
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Another voter saying, is he just gaslighting us or is he truly a delusional individual? Let's play it.
I don't know if he's gaslighting us or delusional. I don't know what it is. People are struggling financially, and it's affecting people mentally. People are more aggressive, and I don't blame them. Like the pressures of, paying their bills, and so I get it.
Now let's go to Harry Enton's latest analysis of some of the polling data. The youth under age 45 and even young Republicans, young MAGA Republicans, no longer find anything to like about Donald Trump's foreign policy. His overall foreign policy net approval is net negative 40, but among the GOP young voters, he's net negative 10 and net negative 14 on the Iran war amongst MAGA Republicans. Let's play this clip.
You hit it on your intro, Omar. That is Trump put in a historically strong performance with younger voters. And here we're talking about voters under the age of 45. He beat Kamala Harris with them, or at least beat the prior Republican baselines with them. And you can see it right here on foreign policy. He absolutely crushed Kamala Harris as who was more trusted under the age of 45 on foreign policy. Look at that. Was more trusted than Kamala Harris by 9 points. Come over to this side of the screen, Omar. Look at this. Look at this shift. He has a net approval rating now on foreign policy 40 points underwater, a nearly 50-point switcheroo. So after putting in the strongest performance, more trusted on foreign policy, the first since George W. Bush all the way back in 2004, he has completely lost that advantage way down there. He is no longer groovy, according to the young people of America.
Groovy. That's a great word. Great word
Groovy.
Choice.
You're groovy.
Big discrepancy here, obviously, but how much is the Iran war contributing to what we're seeing?
I think it's contributing a whole heck of a lot to what we're seeing right here, because just take a look how under the age of 45 feel about Iran. Not worth the cost. Look at this. 4 in 5. 4 in 5. 81% say the Iran war is not worth the cost. And look at Trump's disapproval. Basically simpatico with this. 77% of those under the age of 45 say the Iran war, say that Trump's disapproval on the Iran war, way up there like a rocket at 77%. So not worth the cost. Trump disapproval, both converging about 4 in 5 of those under the age of 45. No wonder that Trump's net approval rating on foreign policy among those under the age of 45 is way underwater at minus 40 points.
Well, even within that young group, I mean, what about young Republicans? How do they feel in this?
You think this nearly 50-point switcheroo is bad? You think nearly 4 in 5 disapproving, 4 in 5 saying not worth the cost is bad? What about young Republicans? This is the Republican base we're talking about here. Take a look at this. Trump's net approval, GOP under age 45. Look at that. He's underwater with them on foreign affairs. Look at that. His net approval rating, 10 points underwater. My goodness gracious. This is Republicans. How about on the Iran war? 14 points underwater with them. So even among young Republicans, Donald Trump has lost the faith of them. And indeed, they want, in fact, the policy for the next Republican president. They do not want to be following Trump's policy on the Iran war. I think we may be going towards a real sort of pivot point within the Republican Party on foreign policy when it comes to young Republicans, as even they have turned against the President of the United States when it comes to foreign policy, foreign affairs, and the Iran war.
Some really significant contrast.
Or how about Donald Trump's statement this week that he loves inflation? He loves it. Donald Trump's approval, net negative 50. Let me repeat, net negative 50. There's no president who's ever even come close to the toilet bowl that Donald Trump now swirls around. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, I would just say, if I'm an American based upon the polling I'm seeing, I hear the president go, what the heck did I just hear? What the heck is going on? One of the most politically tone-deaf statements I've ever heard, and you can see it in the numbers right here. Americans don't like the inflation. They hate the inflation. They don't love the inflation. They hate the inflation. Inflation net approval, minus 50 points or worse, 50 points underwater or worse. Total polls per president. Trump in 2026, already at least eight polls in which his net approval rating on inflation or the cost of living is negative 50 points or worse. Every other president in every other year, the answer is 0. Trump is not only the first one to reach negative 50 points or worse net approval rating on inflation, he's done it many of times. So when I hear Trump's statement, I feel like Mrs. White and Klug going, what is happening here?
A big aspect and one of the first things that people track in terms of the cost of living is the cost of gas prices. Yeah. And how are people feeling about Trump and gas prices?
Yeah, okay. So you see this historic number right here. You know, Trump being the first one ever to get minus 50. He's done it multiple times. No other president's done it. How about an 80% disapproval on gas prices, which of course is fueling this frustration with inflation? Take a look here. The only president with an 80% disapproval rating on gas prices of all time is Trump. In 2026, you can see Trump there. He's pointing the arrow to it. Yes, he has done it. This Iran war has done it. It has fueled record frustration on inflation and record frustration when it comes to gas prices. The only president ever with at least an 80% disapproval rating on gas prices, Donald John Trump, in this year, 2026.
And from yesterday, we've been told that his statement of "I love inflation" just ricocheted and ripped through Capitol Hill. And you can hear from Republican lawmakers the very real concern about what this increase in prices means to their constituents. But of course, that's also tied into the midterm election. Is this frustration trickling down?
Yeah. President Trump may love the inflation. The American people hate the inflation. And I think the Republicans on Capitol Hill absolutely hated Donald Trump's statement. Why? Because it is absolutely funneling down. Okay, Democrats are the party more trusted on inflation. For the first time since the 1970s, it is true now today, we are actually seeing polling in which the Democrats are the party that is more trusted on inflation. I was looking back at all the polls I can find. The last time it really happened in an average of polls was in 1978, of course, before that inflation boom took Jimmy Carter out. And if history is prologue in this situation, well, it's going to take out the Republican majority in the House as well. So no wonder that Republicans heard that statement and just like me are like, Mrs. White, what did I just hear? Well, you just heard a president who wants to sink his party's midterm fortunes. That's what you just heard.
All right, Harry, thank you so much.
Thank
These
you.
numbers are quite something.
Yeah.
And just think about what Donald Trump has been doing over the past 24 hours. His latest post, his latest project, re-gilding the massive Arts of War sculpture located between the Lincoln Memorial and the site of the Triumphal Arch rapidly continues. By the way, did you see the people rejoicing on Friday night when Donald Trump's fascist name was ripped down from the Kennedy Center and thrown on the floor? We had millions of people watching it right here on the MeidasTouch network. Or how about Donald Trump using our taxpayer dollars, wasting our money to do these flyovers of Thunderbirds and Blue Angels and practicing on U.S. airspace? What in the world are you even doing? And then, of course, there's Donald Trump's cover-up of the Epstein files. We ain't forgetting about that here on the MeidasTouch network. You know who I want to bring in? Let me bring in Democratic Congressmember Raja Krishnamoorthi, because we need to hold Donald Trump's feet to the fire when it also comes to the fact that this sick and disgusting regime is covering up a child sex trafficking ring. Let me bring in Congressmember Raja Krishnamoorthi. Congressmember Krishnamoorthi, it's great to see you. I mean, we should reflect that one of the reasons I believe, and many people believe, that we got into this unlawful and catastrophic war in Iran in the first place is that Donald Trump wanted to distract from what was going on the home front, both in terms of the horrific and horrible economy that we have here and also his cover-up of the Epstein files. I think there's numerous other reasons why he got us into that catastrophic war in the first place, and he and Netanyahu decided to invade, and we see the repercussions. But I think a lot of people will say at least one of the totality of circumstances is that the guy was covering up the Epstein files, and now we learn more and more. The bombshell New York Times report that talked about all of these situation room meetings taking place, and the way they frame it, though, just gave me, just grotesque. I'm thinking about it. Former President Obama used the Situation Room as a location where they would locate and kill Osama bin Laden. And you have, right now, this White House holding multiple Situation Room meetings describing whether they should release emails of people saying that Donald Trump has a nipple fetish. And I don't mean to say this in a way to be hyperbolic. That was an actual meeting in the Situation Room. And should we cover up this email? Should we cover up that email? How do we make sure that Ghislaine Maxwell stays on our side? And so you've been working in the trenches, trying to expose all of this and working with other Democrats to make sure this information is out. This has been a very important week, from Epstein's assistant being interviewed to this New York Times bombshell to Bill Gates having his deposition taken. We've learned a lot. So where do we stand right now, Congressman?
Yeah, you're right. This is I feel like one of those weeks where, it's been a little bit like a fire hydrant in terms of information that's come at us. Where are we at? Well, I'll just level set for a second. The reason why we're here is that more than 1,000 then girls, now middle-aged women, were victimized and sexually abused as part of a ghastly sex trafficking ring that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell perpetrated over a course of decades. And these women, these survivors, have yet to receive a single measure of justice in over, 30 years in some cases. And so I think there's been a huge push both among grassroots Democrats as well as Republicans, including in the MAGA base, by the way, for transparency and justice for these survivors. And so after this push has happened, finally, some files were disclosed, but 3.5 million pages and documents have not been disclosed. On top of that, the White House has been conducting a cover-up of everything related to Donald Trump, as well as others, some very powerful interests. And so they've been having situation room meetings, not to talk about national security crises, but to talk about another type of crisis, namely a political crisis for Trump. This week, we learned from Jeffrey Epstein's personal assistant of 18 years that, basically she knew nothing. I don't believe a word of that testimony, unfortunately. I just don't find it credible that she knew nothing. And again, I fear that there are powerful interests that have gotten to her and that are covering this up. From Bill Gates, he is constantly trying to distance himself from Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, there are more than 1,000 pages of documents, pictures, text messages, and emails that mention him. And I think that it's hard for him to distance himself in light of the numerous meetings he's had with Jeffrey Epstein and everything else. So I think that at this point in time, all I can say is I fear that the cover-up continues. There's a lot more that we don't know, and we've just got to keep pushing.
You and I are lawyers. We've sat in depositions before. What I saw in Pam Bondi's not deposition and what you're probably seeing firsthand, I've never seen anything like it. I did a whole video where I really broke it down for our audience, but she doesn't take an oath. She doesn't do it on video camera. She refuses to answer any questions that predate 2025. On questions 2025 into the future, she cites executive privilege for any major communication. Then where any communication with anybody in the executive branch, what else would we be asking Pam Bondi? That's the only questions. What do you say to Trump? What do you say to this person? So she takes, and then when you ask a question that is framed more at just her knowledge generally, that's not a communication. Well, are you aware of any searches that were done to exclude Donald Trump or to remove Donald Trump from the production? I don't recall, or it's Todd Blanche. Ask Todd Blanche. Okay, James Comer, let's ask Todd Blanche. I'm not going to. He's like those South Park characters when the way they portray. That's what it's like, and it's like, come on, man. Like this isn't all that. This isn't all that hard. It's hard for us as humans to deal with the level of what's in these files, but this stuff right here, structuring a deposition, isn't hard. It just horrifies me that this is what's going on in Congress.
That's right. I think that with regard to Trump administration officials, James Comer is definitely not putting the screws to them. And that's what we need to do right now, especially with Todd Blanche, as well as, by the way, Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton was nominated yesterday for Director of National Intelligence, but there are reports that he handled the document review with regard to the Epstein files. And as you know, the Epstein files document dump has been a document fire. I mean, it's just been a dumpster fire. It's not been done methodically. The victims' names and personal identifiable information has been released, whereas numerous men and others have been covered up and redacted. And so he's going to have to face a lot of questions too. I think he should also come before the committee.
Where do we go from here? At this point, it seems that with Republicans controlling oversight, it's not going. There's no real way to get accountability, but it does.
I think one, we just got to put more pressure on Republicans. As you could see from that interesting New York Times article, the White House feels intense pressure, and J.D. Vance, by the way, apparently has been leading the charge in terms of helping with Epstein damage control. Essentially, that pressure makes a big difference. And I think we ought to raise the pressure as much as possible and speak out and speak up for it. Secondly, we need more Democrats in Congress. I think you're right that until and unless there's a change in management, so to speak, in Congress, in both the House and the Senate, and then ultimately the White House, there's not going to be full accountability. And I think we Democrats are leading the charge in terms of demanding transparency and accountability. And I think that is going to be one of the first orders of business when, we take back the House and hopefully the Senate in 2026.
There you have it. We'll keep us posted on what's happening. We want to make sure we're not ignoring, and we want to keep the pressure on. This is not a Democrat, Republican, Independent. This is just a human issue. We know they're still hiding millions of files, and we need to get this out. Thanks, Congressman. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congressmember Krishnamoorthi, great to have him on. Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.